Welcome back to LarryB YouTube channel. In today's class, we are going to learn how to make this beautiful side godet dress. It has this stylish sleeve that you can see on the neckline. It's a draped sleeve and it's really beautiful, as you can see. I used Mikado fabric for this, and I'm going to take you through how I was able to cut and sew this beautiful dress in this class. If this is something you like to learn, kindly stay tuned to the end of this tutorial. Okay, so I'm starting with this pattern. We've done this pattern severally on the channel. That's why I drafted this. So I'm just going to take you through what I did. So this is my armhole line. This is my bust point. I'm not going to be padding this, so I just went straight to my waistline, and then this is my hip line. Okay, so my waistline, I took a regular waist that you can do 1 inch on both sides, or 0.75, or half an inch on both sides. Then you connect that. So this center line here is my bust span, also known as the nipple to nipple. So you're going to connect that to your bust points, just like you have it here. So for me, I want it to have an armhole princess dart. Okay, so if you want to use a shoulder, that is also fine, but mine is going towards the armhole, so you can see that is what I did there. There's a detailed tutorial on this. I'm going to link it down below, so that if you don't know how to do this, you can easily check it out. So this is the shoulder line. I've already done my shoulder slope, and this is my armhole. So this is the first armhole line. After taking the dart here, I replaced it here and then reconnected, just like we normally do. So you just take this your dart line, your bust span, all the way to the hem, just like I have done it. Okay, so the length is up to you. The length I'm working with here is 15 inches, but your length can be as much as you want. So once you have that, now the next thing is to create the side godet that we want to work with. So you first determine where you want your godet to be. So for me, from my waistline, I don't want it too far, because this person is on the big side. So I don't want the ruffle to be too low, so that it's not going to be looking funny. So what I did was just to come down by just 1.5 inches from my from my waistline. This is my waistline here. So I came down 1.5 inches, but if you want it to start on your upper hip, you can come down by maybe 2 or 3 inches. So once you do that, you take your curve and then you place it and link it to your bust span line here, which is the center line. So I'll just find a way to link it properly. So this pattern does not have a seam allowance for me, so if you don't add seam allowance to yours as well, you have to keep that in mind when you are cutting on your fabric, to add your seam allowance. So you can see how I've linked it. And also, like I said, it's a plus size, so the person is busty. Our waist for the front is very different from what we have on the back, so that is the dart that I took here. Like I said, if you don't understand this, just let me know in the comment section, then I'm going to send you the link of a detailed tutorial of where I have made this pattern. So you just take your hip line measurement straight. It's not pencil. Whatever you have on your hip line as your round hip divided by 4, you're going to take that straight down, because it's not going to be shaped. You are still going to do slash and spread here. So that is it for the front. For the back, is pretty much the same thing. I also drafted my back. I wanted to do a straight dart earlier, but I changed my mind, and I'm going to be doing a process that just like I did for the front, so you can see how I connected it. So here I came in by 0.75 to avoid zipper bulge, and also to further avoid this on my waistline, I came up and down by half an inch, then connected it to this side. This pattern also does not have a seam allowance. So from my waist again, just like I did for the front, I came down by 1.5 inches, just like this. Then you're going to take your curved ruler again, and then you create a nice curve to meet your bust span line, just like this. Okay, so it's going to go into what you have coming like this on your bust span, and make sure that you don't have any sharp edge. That is what I'm trying to avoid right now. I don't want this to have any sharp edge, so I want you to blend very well. So now once you have it, you go ahead and cut it. So this part that we have here, we are going to cut it for the front, for the back, and then we are going to do the same thing for the front. Okay, we are going to cut those parts out, so you can see this is what we are going to have. So I'm going to cut this. You can see that the waistline matches, so I'm going to be cutting this out for the front and back then we are going to do slash and spread. So before I do that, I'm going to label this back, I'll label this front, and then I'm going to label this up, so that when I cut it out, I'm not going to be confused. So here you can just write CF, so that you know that this is the side that you're going to be sewing back. This is the side. Okay, so here I'm going to label this side, and then I'm going to write CB here as well. Just anything to make you recognize it. So once you have this, I'm going to go ahead now and cut it. And this neckline that we are working with is a V neckline, you can see. So for my neck width, I'm using 4 inches for my neck width. Sorry, I'm rushing, I don't want this to be too long at all. And then for the depth, I'm using about almost 10 inches. That's for the back. And then for the front, for my neck width for the front, I'm using 4 inches as well. And then for the neck depth, I'm using 8.5 inches. And then I connected it to have my V shape. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this now. So this is what it looks like. I've gone ahead to cut it out. This is the center piece, and this is the side piece. And I also indicated that I'm going to add my seam allowance. So this is the front, and these are the 2 back pieces as well. So I'll go ahead and cut this on my fabric. This is the center back, and this is the side back as well. So now for the godet that we are, remember we have taken that out. So this is the front and back. All you just need to do is to draw out your slash lines. So this is the side, you are going to match the side together with it. You don't need to add them together because we are still going to spread them, and we are going to be spreading completely. So what you need to do now is to draw as many slash lines as possible. I have 4 here, and I've labeled it 1 2 3 4, and I wrote F because once you cut it out, you may not recognize it. So this is the back as well. I've written 1 2, the one is starting from the center. Okay, so I wrote 1 2 3 4, and I wrote back on it as well. So what I'm going to do now is to take my scissors, and then I'm going to cut them out completely. Okay, I will cut all these lines out, then I'm going to be spreading it directly on my fabric. You can also spread on the paper first, but for me, I'll put my fabric on fold by 2, because remember we have 2 sides. Then once I put my fabric on fold by 2, I'm going to spread by the amount of spread that I want. So usually between 3 to 5 inches is okay, but it's up to you. If you want more spread, you can spread more. So you can see I'm cutting it. This is how you're going to cut it out completely. Make sure that the lines, the numbers align, so that they will come out well. So this is what I have here now. So what you need to do now, you're going to do the same thing for the back. You're going to place it on your fabric, and then you spread by the amount of spread that you want. So you can do 4 inches in between, then take the next one as well, you put the 4 inches in between, and you pin it down. So I'll go ahead and do all of this and bring it back to show us what we have. I've gone ahead to cut them, and then you had allowances where necessary. This is the center back, and these are the side back and side front. You can see this is the side back, this is the side front, and this is the center front as well. So when you're cutting the center front, make sure that it is cut on fold, just like this. So for the godet part, I've gone ahead to spread it. Like I said, I'm spreading directly on my fabric. So I'll spread it. So this is what we have. You can see the spaces that I have in between. So I have 4 inches in between mine. You can do more or less depending on what you want. So this is the center back. Just make sure that they align well. You can see 1 2 3 4 for the back, and then for the front 1 2 3 4. So the 4 at the side, so they have to just be beside each other. So you need to notch this part, just notch anywhere to indicate that this side is your front or this side is your back, because they look very similar. So I just placed the notch here at the center back on the M, so that it will be like a zipper allowance, and when I pick it up, I will easily know that this is my back. So for me, I like to weave before I sew. So what I'm going to do now is to go ahead and weave off all the rough edges that I have. Then I'm going to come back and we'll start sewing it. I've gone ahead to weave it, and you can see this mikado is raised a lot, and I don't want to be sewing and be seeing all those. So that's why I just prefer to weave everything like this before I sew at all. So this is the one with the the one that we are going to be gathering by the side, you can see it's not so big, because I just gathered this by, I just opened this by 4 inches, and you can see this is the back. Okay, this is the back. So this is what we'll have now. So the next thing we're going to do now is to go ahead and join them together. So this is one of the back. Okay, this is the neckline, this is the side. So I'm going to look for my side back as well, and then I'm going to join it together like this. So you can take your pattern to know where to start joining. So I'll do the same thing for the front as well. This is the front. I'm going to be joining it together up to where this one stops. So once I'm done doing that, I'm going to go ahead and gather the slash and spread that we did by the side. But before then, we're going to work on the sleeve first, so that it will not be too heavy. I've gone ahead to sew it. You can see I just joined it. I used my pattern to note where the joining is going to start. So you go ahead and open your seam so that you can iron it. So if you want to pad yours, you can pad it with wadding or whatever. But I'm not going to be fully lining this, so I'm not padding it. The person does not even want to pad, so I'm just leaving this as it is. So like I said, I want to fix the sleeve first. It's going to be easier for me to fix it while it is still open like this. I have fixed one of the sleeves, so I'm going to teach you how to fix the other. So the sleeve basically is going to be sewn to the neckline. So for that, it's a very simple sleeve. You just need your piece of fabric. The measurements that you're going to work with depends on how big you want your sleeves to be. But for me, I'm working with a length of, okay, a width of, this is around 26 inches. Okay, this is around 26 inches for the width, and then for the length it's around 14 and a half or 15 inches, but I have already hemmed it. So if it is not hemmed, it will be around 16 inches. So that's 26 by 16. Okay, this is going to be it's going to be big, but not so big. So if you don't want yours to be this big, you just need to reduce it. So the width is 26 and the length is 15. Okay, so it's simply a pleated sleeve. That's just the logic to the sleeve. We are going to be pleating all this. Is a rectangle. All this rectangle, we are going to be pleating it. The only part that we are not going to pleat is this part that I have hemmed. So you just take, once you cut out your fabric like this, one end of the 26 inches, remember this one is the 26 inches, you go ahead and hem just one side. You can see I just weaved the other ones so that it can be neat. I did not hem it. So you are just going to hem one side, which is here. This is also going to serve as the hem of your sleeve. That's why you are hemming is because you are going to show. Okay, so basically what we are going to be doing is to pleat all of this onto the neckline. The only part that is not going to be pleated is this 26 inches part that we have hemmed. The other 26 inches and the 16 by 16, we are going to be pleating it. So to make this easier, you fold this like this so that you can note the midpoint. Okay, you fold this by the 26 inches. So once you know the midpoint is simply going to be your shoulder point. So you can now pin that to your shoulder. So you spread it out. This is the shoulder where you join the front and back together. So you are going to be pinning that to, you are going to pin the midpoints of the sleeve to your shoulder, and make sure that it is the right side of your sleeve that is facing front. We are going to be turning it with a facing. So now this is the midpoint. I'm going to go ahead and pin it down. I'm going to pin this first before I go to the sewing machine, so that it's going to be easy for us. So once you pin it like this, you will pleat everything from where this sleeve is. You can see that I made a mistake here. So this is the wrong side of the sleeve. Please make sure that you are pinning the right side of your sleeve. Make sure the right side of your sleeve is what is facing you. So I have corrected that now. The right side of my sleeve is facing me, and this is the right side of my fabric as well, facing me. So now the next thing is to pleat this. So to pleat it, you note where you want to start pleating from. This is the front, this is the center front. Remember, it's a V neckline. So from there, I just want to come, I don't want it to be on the V point exactly, so I just make like half an inch or quarter of an inch away from the neckline. You can see, and then I will start pinning it. So now you start pinning from this sleeve. Remember I said we are going to pin the rectangle. every other part of the rectangle will be pleated aside the part that we hemmed. So you are going to take this the first 16 inches on the hem. You are going to pin it like this, and then you will start pleating. So you start forming your pleats. So you form your pleats in a way that is going to be facing towards the neckline. This is the neckline. So you're going to pleat towards the neckline. You can decide to pin it first and see before you go ahead to sew. So this is my first pleat. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and make my next pleat. So I want to make sure that the pleat is similar to the first one that I did. So you keep pleating it just like this. You pleat and then you pin it down. You can also pleat it as you sew, but it's easier to pin this way. So you are going to pleat everything up to the shoulder where you pinned. So once you are done with the front, you go to the back as well and do the same thing. So now I've pleated this. I'm almost done pleating the 16 inches. So when you get to this sharp corner, remember we are still going to pleat the rest of the 26 inches there. So when you get to this sharp corner, you just make sure that you pleat it in a way that you can see that I'm pushing that sharp part upwards, so that we won't have anything sharp there. So I'll just pleat, I'll continue pleating, and then try to push it so that the pleating is going to be continuous. I will not have any part bending, so you can see. So when I'm done pleating, I can cut off this leftover that I have. So you continue pleating like this till you get to your shoulder. So you can see the excess, and this is where the shoulder is. So you pleat everything till you get to your shoulder, and once you get to the shoulder, you start pleating to the back as well. I've gone ahead to pleat it. You can see I'm done pleating the front. So the next thing now is to take out this pin now, and then you pleat the back. So when you want to pleat the back as well, you are going to pleat it towards the neckline. You can see we pleated this towards the back. Okay, we pleated it towards the front neckline. So the same thing applies to the back as well. You are going to make sure that your pleat is facing the neckline. Okay, you can see this is the neckline and this is the pleat facing the neckline. So for this as well, the pleat will be facing the back neckline, just like this. So you start pleating. So once you pleat it like this, it makes the work easy for you. When you get to your sewing machine, you just sew it. So for the back as well, you can pleat up to where you have your zipper allowance, or you can measure half an inch away from the zipper allowance, just like we did for the front, or 1 inch. It depends on what you want. So I'm going to go ahead and place this now, then take it to the sewing machine so that we can sew. So I'm done pinning everything now. You can see, like I said, if you've made one, make sure that they are very similar to the other. So now I'll go ahead now and run a stitch. You will see that the only part that is showing now is where we hemmed, which will also double as the hem of your sleeve. So the hem is going to come out from there, and you can see the space that we have between the neckline. So if you don't want a space, you just split yours up to where your V neckline is. So I'll go ahead now and run a stitch just like I did for this. Then you trim off the sharp points that you have. Once I run the stitch, the next thing I'm going to do is to join it by the sides. I'm going to join it by the two sides. Then I'm going to bring in my flare. Okay, the slash and spread flare that we did. I have already fixed my zipper, by the way. So I'm just going to sew the flare to form a godet by the side. So that's all I'm doing. I'll do this now and bring it back to show us what we have. So this is what the dress looks like when I was done making it. So you need to give it a good press and you're good to go. You can see how beautiful it is looking. You can see what we have on the neckline. So if you want your sleeve to be bigger than this, maybe you're working with someone bigger, you can increase the width. We use 26 inches for this. You can increase it to maybe 28 or 30 inches so that the person can raise the arm well. I hope you enjoyed making this beautiful dress with me. If you enjoyed it, let us know in the comment section. Like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.